Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. What's up, sister?
Not a whole lot. How are you doing?
I hit record and I'm like, oh, oh man, I better start talking. Okay. I'm at work. This is my work environment. This is where I get to be.
Yay!
You see my sign, says grateful.
That's right.
Love it. It's a
That's a
great,
good thing to go with, right? Being
yes,
grateful, honestly. And that's something to find in every day. And it's not always easy. It's not always easy because we're not trained to be looking in that direction. And we've been trained to look in other directions.
it's true. When we focus on the Discord, it's super easy to get wrapped up in what's not going right or not what's not going well or the discomforts in the body. There's just so many things that get our attention that distracts us from what we actually want. And it is so easy to do that. I still do it. And um, sometimes it is very difficult to redirect your focus. I'm not going to lie about that. This is what we need to do. We need to redirect our focus to how we want to feel, to what we want, the money in the bank, good health, good relationships, all the whole story. But when you're in it and it has your attention so much that you just don't know how to pull yourself out of it, it's difficult. It really is. And I think we both know that. We've both been there. It's probably not going to be the last time we be there that we are there. What you do, and I'll say my part, and you can add to it, is we do our best. We just do our best. And one of those things that we can do really good is be grateful. So the idea that maybe a loved one passed away, well, I'm grateful for the time we had with them. I'm grateful that I'm still here and I still have the ability in the physical form to enjoy my family and friends in the best way I can with the time that I have with them. I'm grateful for that. So turning toward gratitude, it almost seems like it's so overused and people are like, be grateful, be grateful. um, but it's the truth. That is one thing that can be easy to do. I'm grateful. I can be as grateful for this pen or pencil and eraser. Super grateful for this. And this is what I do. I will pick the simplest little things around me. A pencil with an eraser, my mouse, because I don't use the little pad on the laptop very well. I have cards at work. So I draw a card out of my deck and I set it on right next to my laptop. So I see it every day or all day. And then every day I pull a different card. So grateful for the job because it's helping me pay off my debts. And so it can be super, super simple to do that. But when you're in the depth of the struggle and the pain and the discord, I think the piece to practice is to remember to be grateful. That's
Yeah.
the biggest piece.
And to surrender. It's surrendering to that. And sometimes we get so wrapped up in thinking we have to control it or we think we know the best way this needs to happen. And it's just surrendering and allowing that to come forward and let it. You've already planted the seeds. Just allow it to grow. You planted the seeds. You've been watering the garden, and it's like you're still out there. Like, come on, you can break through the soil. Come on, anytime. Okay, I'll be back in the morning. It's like constantly watching that stuff and just knowing that and having faith that it's going to happen that way. But surrender is really a big deal when we get into those spaces, and it's just being a choice of awareness, really, and that's the only way getting yourself before you get into the red zone. Because once you're in the red zone, it's like a free fall for all. You're just going to keep going in that direction because that's the energy you're at, and you're matching it. And it's like, oh, we can do this, and it's just it just depends on where you're at in that moment. But it's like if we can stop trying to push it, when we're pushing and pushing and pushing and we're receiving so much resistance, that's time to let go. It's time to rest. It's time to surrender. You can call it whatever you want to, but it just kind of lets you know that this is not the path you're supposed to go right this moment.
And it might be that on that path in that moment, it's to learn to be grateful or to
Yeah,
remember to be grateful.
yeah.
Because we're always learning something about ourselves. We're always, well, if you choose to learn, I like to be in a learning mode because that keeps me out of a victim mode. So that's the two comparisons for me in my practice. So the path in the moment may be to learn to be grateful and practice being grateful more consistently, because the more you practice it, the easier it gets. Like you can just look at, I'm grateful for the window, I'm grateful for the clouds because it's looks like it's going to rain, so I'm grateful for the rain, right? And the more you practice it, then when you are in those heavier moments, lower vibrational moments, then you would remember quicker. It might take you a few moments, might take you a minute, and you might be in your heaviness for a little bit, and then you'll remember, oh, I've been practicing gratitude. Oh yeah, what am I grateful for? Well, I'm grateful for the support I have. I'm grateful my bills are paid. I'm grateful I have food on my table. So it comes down to a practice, consistent practice, a consistent practice.
I agree with that because it is. I was thinking about something earlier today. I don't remember. It could be, we could use it for anything. Art. You start out drawing a line, or next thing you know, you add another piece to it, and it's like it becomes this great, huge picture that you make, and you can put it on a whole wall, and it's like it's got a whole story that goes along with it. It just depends on how we're showing up.
Yeah. How we choose to show up.
It's true. It's true. And it's easy to get lost in this stuff because I get lost in this stuff too. I've found myself keeping myself a little bit too busy, to be quite honest. I mean, honestly, but it's like at the other side of that, I have my grandkids staying the night now at least once a week. So each of them stay on their own special night, and I've got a couple of days with them that way. So we're spending more time because it's like the realization is they're growing up so fast. Pretty soon they're going to be off doing their own things, and it's like then I'll have that. I'll go see them whenever we see each other, right? But it's like it's just planting all those seeds in the middle of everything while I'm having fun, while they're helping me to grow and they're helping me to be more of a child and see more things from that perspective. And then also recognizing, I'm driving home and I was talking to Freeman last night, and I was like, man, I just feel bad. We talked about victim, right? You mentioned that, but I feel bad every time I have to walk away from the kids and they're crying, and they're sad and they're upset. I don't cave into it. Not typically. I mean, I don't, because it's like if I'm going home now, no, you got to go to your house. It's time for me to go to my house. But it seemed like no matter how much I was doing, this is a perspective that more was being wanted. And it's like that's a perspective. Now I can shift gears and no longer be in that victim space and recognize, man, all the moments that I get to spend with them. So I can sit and be grateful for all the happy moments we got to spend together, to wake up in the morning and to see their face first thing in the morning, and to realize, even sitting in my living room, I think I said this before, one of my grandkids were sitting down in front of the TV and, on their knees, just like a little kid in front of it. Not, we don't watch TV very often, but it was just like a house isn't a home without children in it. To me, now that's my perspective, right? But also I enjoy my quiet time. Don't get me wrong. So it's finding a balance, right? It doesn't matter what we're doing in our daily basis, whether it's you working and you've got your calendar and I've got my calendar, or I've got the grandkids. It's like we still have to have a balance. There still has to be harmony. You still got to have time for yourself, because if you don't have time for yourself, then you don't have time for anybody else. And it's recognizing that and then taking that opportunity to rest, whether it's calling in sick that day, or sorry guys, I'm going to stay home today. I'm not going to go to town, or whatever that looks like for you, right? Sometimes it's maybe just taking 5 minutes, but
Yep.
it's being grateful in those 5 minutes. You taught me a long time ago. I have 1,000 notebooks. You didn't teach me to get 1,000 notebooks. I don't really
I'm
have that
only
many,
gonna
but
use one, so
We really only need one, but I have multiples, and if I see them at the store, I like them. But it's writing down a list of things to be grateful for, or things that were good about your day, or things about how you had shown up, or things about maybe I was walking into the grocery store and this lovely couple just looked up to me and smiled. Or even for me, I'm at the grocery store yesterday and I've got one couple that she's like, "Oh, that's all you've got? Oh, come on, you need to go in front of us." The guy in front of them is like, he's like, "Oh, that's all you got? No, come up here, squeeze up there." So I'm like really having to squeeze up there to get up there, but it's being grateful in all those moments. And I just kept telling him thank you. And then I get to, it was light and airy, and I get to the cash register and he's like, "Oh, you're the millionth customer. You get to win, $1 million because he likes looking back at them and like, sorry about your luck."
Yeah, yeah,
I said, "Well, we'll go out or something. But it was just light and fun. And that's the way life can be all the time. It
yeah,
really just sometimes it could be a challenge, but it really depends on what we're looking at. What are we putting our focus on?
yeah. And it's important to play more and laugh more. And when you bring that energy, so I know you've been working on your energy for a while and doing really well with it too, because that's an indicator. That experience at the grocery store is an indicator of how you are with your energy. It would be the same with me. If I went into the store and everybody I encountered was cranky and grumpy and blah, 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 then I would look at myself and think, first of all, I've been working a lot of hours because we have a huge event in like 2 days. And so I've been working extra hours to make sure things are getting done and running smoothly. And to be honest, I would have to say this is probably the first job that I've had where that felt good and not like oh my God, I have to stay and work and right. I'm like, oh, we gotta get this done so that these people know what to do. And so it feels good to do this, not a dreaded have to do this. Um, and so anyway, I'm just going to use that as an example of working extra hours. Now I'm tired. Now I got to stop at the store on my way home. I'm hungry. And then people around me are just cranky and bitchy. And I wouldn't point my finger at them. I would go, oh, look what's being mirrored to me.
Exactly.
Cranky. Am I sleepy? Am I tired? Am I exhausted? Am I being snappy? Am I being bitchy? Am I like I used to point the finger at them and say, oh my God, look at all these people. They're just being assholes today. What's in the air? The planet's out of alignment. Is it a full moon? Like we blame, all the stars and planets. No, it's me. It's me. It's not, and they're just showing me what I am. Um, so that to me is a very piece of valuable information. Most of the time, like you, Bev, I have very pleasant experiences now when I'm out in public. Um, this whole event that we're putting together, we have an amazing committee that's come together to do it, to take care of all the pieces, and everybody's got their part. And we have that circle, and then we have a circle outside of that where people are just, hey, we want to volunteer. What can we do? Like people are coming in. If our energy was any other way about this in more of a negative way, we would be repelling these people and we would be struggling to get this done. We would be struggling looking for help, but we're not. Like they're just coming, and I'm praising every time I talk about the event. I'm praising the event. I'm praising the people that are helping us. I'm being excited about it. Again, just enjoying the process, even if I have to work some extra hours. And it's like still feels good. It just feels good. And I have those experiences with me when I go out in public, when I'm at home, and that is huge. It's huge for both of us. I know it's just huge for both of us when we think about where we've been and where we are. So,
It is. It is a big deal. And it really is. It's just an indicator of what's going on around. I mean, what's going on inside, right? So like you said, it's a reflection really. And it shows up all the time. And it's like, even for the, the grandkids, I could be even in that space and feeling bad for them. And then, so at some point I have to know that maybe my little girl, once upon a time, was being treated this way, or maybe she wanted to spend more time with her grandparents. I don't know I don't remember the dynamics between me and my everybody. I don't remember wanting to stay. I know we stayed the night at my grandparents' house, but I was like, I don't know if we ever did we ask to stay. Like my grandkids are like would every day stay at the house. They would never leave. I don't know. Maybe someday they would get sick and tired of me, but and they're also sensitive. They help me recognize tones, right? Because you can go to the grocery store and there could be a reflection, how everybody, however you're showing up that day is what you're gonna encounter at the grocery store. And it's the same thing with the kids. If I'm using a different tone or a harsh tone and not even recognizing that I'm doing it, I'm still putting out something and I'm gonna get back something from that. You know what I mean? I might trigger them, and then it's like, then it's an opportunity. And I've been learning this. It's an opportunity for me to look at and say, why am I being affected by this? Why do I feel like I'm being triggered? Reminding me to be grateful, to be in the moment, because sometimes maybe my mind's in the future or stuck on something else in the past. So it's like all these things that are happening in our life that I can be grateful for because I'm paying attention to it. I'm in
Mhm,
awareness of it. And I don't have to stay there.
mhm.
Or I can stay there. If it's going really good, I can stay there as long as I want to by being grateful.
Yeah. And it's a practice. I tell you, I had to learn it myself. And so I would just say to the audience, put an alarm, send a reminder on your phone, or to pause, take a couple breaths, and just in that moment, what are you grateful for? And you can put that on. I know on my reminders, I can put a little note. I could put, what am I grateful for right now? And then just name like 5 to 10 things. And again, it could be as simple as, I'm grateful for this paper, for this pencil, for my glass. Like I could just pick up and you can say, why are you grateful for this pencil? And you can name 5 to 10 things why you're grateful for just a pencil. And so, or put a sticky note, maybe in your work area, on your mirror at home, in the kitchen, on the microwave, like put reminders around you that says, or asks, what am I grateful for in this moment? And make it, once you practice it over, right? That's how a habit is formed. We got to program the subconscious mind to just be able to be on autopilot of, I'm grateful for this. And it doesn't take, it may take a little while to get into that habit. But once you do, it's like a go-to switch, and it just is more automatic and more part of your way of being on a regular basis.
Yeah. Now you're consciously making decisions, right? Instead of subconsciously making decisions or downloading new programs, or I like to say lately is uploading. So
Yeah.
it's all fun stuff.
So with that, we will close this session of Tea Time with Amy and Bev, and just remind you to practice gratitude and enjoy the moment more, and notice how people are showing up around you, which gives you a huge indicator of how you are most likely being with yourself or within yourself. And have these conversations with other people. We're all seeking this. Majority of the people on the planet are leaning more towards these types of conversations. So be courageous enough to have them. And if you aren't comfortable with have them, at least be resourceful so you can share with them a YouTube channel or a Facebook post or a social media post, a podcast. And you can find us on many platforms. So we are on YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Spreaker, Spotify. We're on Instagram. So we're in multiple areas. So you could just be resourceful and share those links. So that's what we would ask you to do, whether it's for us or another podcaster, teacher, a book, author, just to get these this information out there to the masses. So with that, do you have any final words, my dear?
Just a reminder to surrender. You know, don't keep holding on for dear life to something. Just let go
Yeah,
and ask for
awesome.
help. Yes.
Yes. Ask for help. We've had plenty of conversations about that. And in fact, I think there are some videos that we have that says that specifically in the title, ask for help. So with that, we want to thank you for hanging out with us, Tea Time with Amy and Bev, and we will see you next time.
Bye.